Hello and welcome to another episode of the CUFI Weekly. And this week I want to talk about leaks. Not with anyone's plumbing, don't worry. But I want to talk about a recent incident which occurred where an intelligence report detailing possible Israeli training for a response to the ballistic missile attack by the Islamic Republic of Iran earlier this month and an Israeli response. Now, this should cause huge red flags. And I'm not here to engage in any sort of partisan finger pointing. But we have to be aware that this is hugely problematic, that we are jeopardizing the security and safety of an ally as it fights a war on 7 fronts. Look, it's not the first time that I'm saying this, and if you've watched the weekly before, you're well aware that the head of the snake that is endangering Israel's security and safety, which is endangering the security of all of the Middle East and the United States, is the regime in the Islamic Republic of Iran. And of course, the war which is happening with Hezbollah now, as Israel tries to secure its northern border from Hezbollah, who started this war on October 8th. When Israel was being attacked, they decided to fire thousands of rockets at Israel's civilian population. Now, this intelligence leak poses some serious questions, and the FBI are investigating it. But what does that mean for, one, how our allies perceive us? Because surely this has shaken some trust with Israel. The U.S. Israel relationship is a cornerstone of both Israeli and American foreign policy. It is a relationship which has spanned different administrations, different political environments, and has been an all-weather friendship. But this is not a positive development. This is really troublesome, and the quicker that we find out who is responsible, and there are some names floating around, but it'd be reckless to name anybody right now while an investigation is ongoing. But it needs to be found out, there needs to be punishments, and it needs to be rooted out. Because if we put Israel aside, this is not a good precedent for the United States. And if our intelligence is not being secured, that is a serious red flag that needs to be looked into. The espionage risk is very real. Not only was there the leak that came from the Pentagon, but also, just days ago, Israel revealed that they had caught a terrorist cell of Jewish Israelis who had made Aliyah from Azerbaijan, who had been recruited through an intermediary in Turkey to spy for Iran. And apparently this cell had been operating for over 2 years and had taken part in hundreds of missions, exposing Israeli targets, Israeli locations, to the regime in Iran. So this is a very serious problem that Israel is dealing with on a daily basis. People know of the regime in Iran's cyber efforts to hack different Israeli institutions and networks. Ultimately, the fact remains, the enemies of Israel are the enemies of America. And if we turn our back on Israel, there will be a price to pay from that. And we need to remember that in everything we do. This is Kasim Hafeez for the CUFI Weekly. For Zion's sake, do not remain silent. Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe so you get a notification every time a new episode hits. And if you want to check out some of our previous episodes, and we've got some really good ones, click on one of the thumbnails and that will take you right there. And finally, if you want to know more about CUFI and the work we do, go to cufi.org to check out all the resources we have available free to you.